Yo, so what's good, fam? So it's your man Jay. I'm here with another episode of Evolutionary Comics. And today this what time is it? It is 3:53 and my plane is it should be about to land in the next, 7 to 15 minutes, give or take, how air travel is. But as you see, I'm here and I'm not on the plane. So that means I ain't go nowhere. I missed Heroes Con this weekend, and I knew I was gonna end up missing it. Pretty much last week, leading up to uh, the date, there was some different things that could have came through that would have allowed me to keep my plans. I had to cancel my hotel and in the flight, and I had already paid for the ticket, so it's a $75 I don't know, reminder of making sure that things are a little bit more in order, and not so much that they weren't in order, but it is sometimes, with collecting comics and being able to go off to Comic Cons and everything like that. It does get to be a bit taxing financially. And sometimes you have to make those hard decisions to say, well, I'm going to skip this, or I'm not going to make it to this, or, different things come up. And that's pretty much the case. I cut back a little bit on my weekly pool this past week, because I found out, when I realized I wasn't going, I actually got everything that was in my pool box, and it was a good week. But yeah, so one of these days, I think I'm gonna do a video about the reality of the financial side of collecting comics. I know there's a channel called Economics in Comics or something like that. I'm not sure what they talk about, if they talk about the economical side, or they talk about the value of comics of the comic books that they purchase. And, whenever you get a certain comic book or a key comic book, they may talk about the value fluctuations that occur. But I don't think, I think one of the hard truths that nobody really talks about is, being mindful as you're just navigating through this hobby. We do get to a point where, it can be really, really tough, especially with FOMO and people feeling FOMO, fear of missing out, for those that don't know what that means. Um, and then, sometimes it's a situation where, like in my situation, I read so much and I'm so invested in a couple of different series that when the books come out, that it's like I either get that book or I wait for the trade. And you gotta, impatience is a hell of a thing, especially when you're invested in a really good story. So I hope everybody who did make it to Heroes Con, had a great time. Check out my man BJ Kicks, because I know he had a panel there. I was anxious to get up there and meet him. My bro Kenya, what up? I know he made it. He actually attended. I saw yesterday where he was there, and I missed the Don McGregor panel that he did. Missed BJ. I missed his panel. Brandon. I missed getting, not only just meeting him, but getting to hear what his panel was about, and a couple of different other people. I wanted to meet Miss Stephanie Williams. I also wanted my guy Sanford Green. That was number one on my list. That was meeting him and getting something signed or getting a picture with him would have been the pinnacle of my con year this year. So I was, unfortunately, I didn't get to make it. I'm a little bit down about it, but of course, I guess you guys kind of can expect that when plans fall through. But I am the kind of guy that I'll be down for about it for a little bit, but I'm also, kind of reorganizing, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go to Tampa Bay Comic Con. Tampa Bay Comic Con is just, right across the bridge. It's not too far, but I know that that is a con that is heavy with stars and some of the celebrities in that aspect as far as the MCU and the different movies. And I don't really care about that. I want to meet the creators. I wanted to meet, like I said, I want to meet Sanford Green, Chuck Brown, brother David F. Walker, the great Don McGregor. I wanted to meet all of these people that actually create the comic books, because my channel is more about comics than movie reviews or MCU news and stuff like that. I care more about what's being put in these books here. So, but yeah, like I was saying, I got sidetracked. Tampa Bay Comic Con, I'm not sure who's gonna be there, so that's kind of like a hesitancy. I am definitely gonna try to make Atlanta Comic Con up there with my man D Flood and a lot of other people. I think went last year. This will be the second annual. It is in I think it's the third week in August that it's going to be held. The great thing about that one is that is a little bit further, but the great thing is that it's going to be a little bit less expensive, because my middle sister Marcy, she actually lives up there. She lives I think she's in Newport News. That's ironically where I was stationed at for a time when I was in the military. So I'm excited to get back up and see how Fort Eustis has changed, and kind of tour around the Norfolk area. And I got a cousin that's up there as well. So hopefully I'll be able to do all of that, and that'll be part of my birthday celebration in August. And then there's also the Brandon Comic Fanfare that's coming up as well, with my man Sherrick from Plant City Comics Cafe. I always talk about them, try to give them a big up, because them my peoples over there. So that is also that's a smaller con, but that is a con that's focused solely on collecting books and getting new books and stuff like that. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to get some comic creators to come through and meet some people like that. But yeah, so it is what it is. But to console me, I got a dope stack of books. I really enjoyed this new comic book day. The reading aspect of it, I really had a good time with some of these books, and the majority of these books, because if it wasn't the stories that were fulfilling, the covers, I got some second printing covers that I really wanted, and I was excited about getting those. So to add on to this little chat that I'm having with you guys, I get to show you some of these books too. But as I always say, we didn't get it. So, all right, fam. So, like I said, I'm still in somewhat of a down mood, but I'm going to tell you about these books that I got, and then we're going to get back to our Sunday. I got a couple other books. I got to catch up on my X-Men, reading that, and I also got to catch up on Storm, because people keep saying that Storm is off the chain, that it's such a great book. And I want to see. I think I need to read the last three or four issues of Storm before the next one comes out. So the first book I'm going to show you guys is from Image Comics, and this is the B cover for Bug Wars number 5. And this story is really dope. If you haven't seen some of my earlier videos, this is a story that's being written by Jason Aaron, Mahmoud Asari, and Matthew Wilson and Becca Carey all are the creative team for this particular book. But basically, what it is this young man this kid who actually his family moved into their, I guess, their like summer house or wherever his dad was at. The father ends up passing away mysteriously, and they think that these bugs. The kid thinks the bugs ate him really. So anyway, he goes out. He's running from his brother. They have an altercation, big brother, little brother thing. He goes out into the yard and he ends up being shrunk down to minute size like a bug. And he has this amulet that the bugs want because he's supposed to be like this prophesized individual that has come to change the world, their bug world, so to speak. But it's really, really dope. This is a good read. Jason Aaron's doing a great job. The whole creative team is doing a great job with this book. But this is definitely a dope book to read. All right, so this next book is Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, number 9. And this is being written by Jed McKay and Dev Pramanik is the artist with Rochelle Rosenberg, Corey Petit, a couple other people that are the creative team for this book. This is really dope. I like this one because basically they got Taskmaster. I don't know why Taskmaster's on the cover. That's not really indicative of what's going on inside the book. Basically, Moon Knight is going up against this. Basically, Moon Knight is going up against this Asgardian drug dealer, and he's trying to find a way to get the people that are addicted to this drug to get off the drug. So this story is just more like a connector. Nothing super happens in this book except for a little bit of progress as far as getting to where they need to be, but no big fights or anything like that. So dope book, dope read, and Jed's doing a good job with this one. All right, so the next book that I picked up, The Avengers 27, and I'm not sure which cover this one is. Let me see real quick. Okay, this is the Luciano Vecchio Storm variant cover, and I like this cover a lot. This is a real dope cover, especially how it has her face in the background. I've been doing this with my photography lately. I've been like zooming in and getting like a mid body look. I might put a picture over here somewhere so you guys can see what I've been doing with my photography. But I love this cover. This is a real dope cover for Storm. Reminds me of a photo shoot. So as far as the book goes inside, this is T'Challa's return. T'Challa returns back to the city, and he's met with I forget the villain's name, but Sam Wilson is there getting his ass kicked by this big ass Dr. Hyde villain. I think that's his name, Dr. Hyde or something like that. So T'Challa comes back to kind of join the fight and to save him, and they do battle. So that's what mostly this book is about. Them making a little bit. This is another connecting book where they're just making a little bit of progress in the story, but it's good to see T'Challa back in action. So this was a good pickup as well. All right, so the next book I picked up was Aliens vs. Avengers number 4. This is the conclusion of this story, being written by Jonathan Hickman and Isad Ribic. I think that's Ribic. That's the way you say his name. But this is the conclusion to the Aliens vs. Avengers war. This was a good series. This was a really good book. I'm glad I got all of these. I don't know. It's not really anything that's affecting the continuity of the Marvel Universe, because in this one, all of the heroes are super, super old. This is like way in the future somewhere, but it is really a good read. As always, Jonathan Hickman retains his title belt as one of the dopest writers ever in Marvel Comics. So yeah, this was a good read. I really loved it. Loved everything about it. Artwork, everything was on point. The only thing that I wanted to see more of was Azari and Black Panther kind of fighting, doing things as son and father a little bit. I think that would have been really dope to see if they would have added that, but they didn't. But they did come through. They represented, did their thing, and this made it a greater book. So y'all check this out. I know everybody's really picking this up because this was one of those main event type things. So yeah. All right, so the next book I picked up, this is Bring on the Bad Guys, Doctor Doom edition, and this was a good read because this was a great introductory to the Bring on the Bad Guys series with all the different villains. You're gonna have the Abomination, you're gonna have the Green Goblin, you're gonna have Mephisto. It's quite a few guys of the villains that are gonna be making appearances. But this is a great opening. This young lady on the front is Sister Sorrow, and it's Sunday, so you guys probably who's reading it have already got pretty deep into it. But this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear, you know, fast forward us, do something. Anyway, this is Sister Sorrow. Sister Sorrow works for Mephisto, and she's been tasked to get these daggers so they can put them all together to create a greater weapon. Dr. Doom falls upon the knowledge of it and confronts her, and he tries to acquire them. But this is a good read. This is a great introduction to Sister Sorrow and what's going on in the Bring on the Bad Guys series. So I'm not sure how the other ones are going to be intertwined, but this was a good read, great addition. I do believe that this is going to be just a one shot, and each one of the other villains has a one shot, but they all connect. So y'all check them out. All right, so before I get into these other great stories that I picked up, these other great books that have fantastic stories, I do want to show you guys some of the stuff that I picked up that was just purely cover issues. But they were I say purely, but I can't say that because I actually already read two of them, and then the third one and the first one that I'm going to show you, I'm going to eventually read that as well, but I'm just more invested in the other stories. So I've been collecting, if you've been watching my channel, I've been collecting this Epitaphs of the Abyss and all of these dope ass horror covers. I hope that just like some of the older horror covers, the Silver Age ones, the Golden Age ones, just like people flip out and love those. I hope this makes that has that longevity, so to speak. And this is a really dope cover. I like this cover, the scarecrow in the background. This is truly horror. So the stories inside, there's like kind of like a small anthology. I don't know if you call 4 stories an anthology or 3 stories an anthology, but it's a series of stories inside that are all horror stories. But these books are absolutely dope. One day I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna put like all of them on a reel on my Instagram, so you guys can check that out. My Instagram is Evolutionary Comics, so y'all check me out on Instagram. I try to put as many of my books that I can think of that I take pictures of. So if y'all want to see it, go over to the IG and check me out, Evolutionary Comics. Yeah. All right. So this next book on cover is the second printing of The Curse of Shirley Johnson. Told you guys about that book. It's a really dope book. It is about the first, I believe it was the first victim of Bobby Kincaid in the Spawn universe. The serial killer that was a pedophile or whatever. Shirley Johnson was the first little girl that he killed. I think that's right. The first little girl or the last. I think it's the first one. Anyway, she has her own series now. She's back from the dead, and she's pissed off at Spawn. It seems like everybody mad at Spawn these days. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a theme now, to be pissed off at the black guy? I don't know. Anyway, but she's back, and this is the second printing of her cover, and this is really, really dope. I love this cover. And like I say, comics, it is about what's the stories inside, but it's also about the great artwork, and it gets displayed on covers like this. So yeah, like this one as well. The next one, this is another great story. I went on and on about this particular story in another video, but this one is Exquisite Corpses, and I think it's the second printing, but it is a wraparound. Okay, so yeah, this is the Michael Walsh wraparound. So I'm loving this cover. It's real, real dope. It's a fire cover, and it has all of the killers, all of the people that have been tasked to play this game, and show you guys the back. So yeah. So real quick about this book, because this is like, my favorite read of the last couple of weeks. Other than, Black Panther, but it has a contender in this stack over here. But I'll get to that. So anyway, no, I got part two. So hold on one second. All right, so getting back to what I picked up, the great reads. Just like I was showing you the second printing of Exquisite Corpses, this is Exquisite Corpses #2, and this is the polybag variant. And the reason why it's the polybag variant, it looks kind of plain, but the reason why I got this one is because of the cards. So each one of these issues is going to come with a game card of one of the killers. So basically what happened, all these rich families, they're vying for control for the next 5 years over the United States. And what they do is they go out and they get some crazy deranged psycho killer to be their champion, and then they play the game of kill or be killed. So they're going through and they're killing each other, and they're in this town where the people in the town don't know crap about what's going on. They're just innocent bystanders. But a lot of times, from what I'm going to see, they're going to be victims. A lot of the people in the town are going to be victimized by these psycho killers. So I think there's a total of 12 of them. One guy died in the first issue, and somebody dies in this issue. One of the killers. Somebody else dies too, but one of the killers died. But this is a great, great read. It is absolutely dope. So yeah, this cover was actually done by Michael Walsh as well. This is the cover C, and this is being written by James Tynion, and the co-writer and artist Michael Walsh is also on this. So this is like one of these dope books that just pop up out of somewhere. I don't know where they came from, but this is a real dope read. I'm digging it. You guys should definitely check this out if you haven't so far. Ask my man Kenya about it, because I told him about it and he hooked. I've still got to check out Lucky Devils, Kenya. I'm getting there. So it's on issue 3. I think issue 4 comes out soon. So if I grab 1, 2, and 3, then I'll be able to catch up. But anyway, this one right here is a banger. So you guys check this one out. All right. So this next book is Joe Illidge. Is like, I don't know much about him. I see him on the Black Comic Lords channels. He does interviews on there. I believe I'm friends with him on Facebook. But he has a new book out. It's in the Spawn universe. Again, I'm talking about people hating on Spawn. I don't know why or what Spawn did to anybody. Spawn is a good guy. That's what I thought anyway. But somebody has it out for Spawn. They ready to kick his ass. And in this book, it shows why. So this next book I picked up is Blood Letter. So the sister on the cover, she is the Blood Letter. Like I said, this book is being written by Tim Seeley and Joe Illidge. Artwork by Christian Rosado. And everything about this book was absolutely dope. This was like, even with Exquisite Corpses, I would say this was my favorite book to read, because they were so efficient. The thing about comic books when you're writing them, that's coming from a reader's standpoint, because I haven't written any comic books, but coming from a reader's standpoint is the efficiency in which they introduce a character, give you the character's background, give you the motive why the character's doing whatever they're doing, and they wrap it all up so eloquently in 32 pages. So this book is Tasha Thornwall is the Blood Letter, a mystical mercenary of the world's secret underground, a former CIA operative forced to live in the shadows after being outed by Al Simmons 10 years ago. That's why she's mad. Spawn's human alter ego, Al Simmons, outed her. So goes on to say Tasha is now out for revenge when she learns Al Simmons is alive and as Spawn. The mission to hunt down and kill Spawn begins in this debut miniseries by Joseph P. Illidge, DC Comics, The Shadow Cabinet, and Tim Seeley, Hack and Slash Local Man Nightwing. I'm not sure why his name rings a bell. Like I read some of his books before, none of those that were mentioned, but I don't know. I don't know where his name, why his name is so familiar. But they did a great job with this one, and along with the incredible art of Christian Rosado. So yeah, so this book, man, I'm gonna show you guys the inside, and it is definitely on par with other Spawn books. So they kept with the same artistic theme, which is hella dope. I'm really enjoying it, and like I said, it gets to the point. It introduces the blood letter. It introduces you to Tasha, where she came. Well, not where she came from, but what she was doing at the interaction where Spawn outed her. So it shows that history. It shows that that she cutthroat. She does some things that you just like, damn, she cold. But now she has her sights set on getting to your man Spawn, getting to Al Simmons, and getting some retribution for him outing her. And it also shows that Al was a bit of an asshole too. So it's not automatically where she's a bad guy going after the good guy. It is a situation where you definitely understand why she pissed off and why she got to do what she got to do. So y'all did a great job with this, Mr. Joe Illich, Tim Seeley. Y'all did a great job, and I can't wait for issue 2 because I'm hooked into this story already. All right, so the final book that I picked up, and this is something that I had been waiting for. I had been waiting for this book to come out, along with quite a few other people in the comic book know, especially in the blurred space. We were talking about this book, and we were talking about we can't wait for it to come out. I don't know how many people actually knew what was going on with it, if they were excited about that, or if they were just excited that another black writer is stepping up to the scene with a book that has some steam to it, that's going to be going somewhere. So this book has been written by Mr. Sheldon Allen, Mauricio Campatella, Danielle Carmanico, and this is issue 1 of 5 from AWA. And Mr. Sheldon Allen, I think I'm not gonna say I think I know that I have his series called Snatched. So I picked those up. That was on Scout Comics. He wrote Concrete Jungle from Scout Comics and Crucified from Scout Comics. So he used to work with Scout Comics. I'm not sure if they went under or something. If y'all know what happened to Scout Comics, because it was a couple books that I was reading that just disappeared. So if something happened with them where they're not operating anymore, y'all let me know. But anyway, that's where Mr. Sheldon Allen was before, and now he is with the Artists, Writers, and Artisans Incorporated, aka AWA, with this particular book. They Choose Violence. So this right here, I'm telling you, man, this is a great pickup. If you haven't read this yet, if you haven't picked it up yet, y'all would be doing yourself a disservice of a good story, a good opening story, just like the Blood Letter. I will say that it didn't hit me as hard as the Blood Letter did, but this was after reading this, I definitely would have picked up issue 2 as well. So all right, so it goes, Miss Lanika, Deidre, and Karen, 3 HBCU besties turned professional career women, enraged by the systematic injustice plaguing their community, band together to form a vigilante squad that targets white supremacists deemed to have circumvented the justice system and got away with protected murder. Serving up grisly justice in increasingly creative ways, the vigilante posse becomes front-page news while always staying one step ahead of the law. It's liberating, it's addictive, and it's kind of fun, until a copycat killer emerges. See, I didn't know about that part. They Choose Violence asks what happens when you go down the dark, unforgiving road of revenge. What happens when the only path forward is escalation? There's no turning back now for anyone. So that's the synopsis of it. And the part about copycat killer, I don't know about that yet. That doesn't happen in issue 1, so that's a spoiler. But these three sisters, and this is cover A. I'm gonna show you guys this one, and let's see who did this one. I guess Raza did this first cover, and this other cover. Let's see who did this one, and this is the Kyle Baker variant. He did this one. I like this one the most because it's like one of those 70s movie posters. So that's Lanika, Deidre, and Karen that are on the cover. Yeah, it's like almost like one of them James Bond. Like if James Bond met one of those Richard Pryor movies or something like that. This is a hella dope cover. I love this cover. It's simple, but it's absolutely dope because of what it makes me think about. But yeah, so anyway, this book introduces these three sisters and some of the things that they see and what they're going through, and basically it's talking about their way. It starts off with we're gonna do this, we should do this, and they don't never do it, and then something happens and it finally clicks, and they like, man, bump it, we gonna do it, we gonna stop talking about it and be about it. So it's a great book. It's a great opening read. I think this particular one has a it's almost like a double page. It's a reprinted page in this book, and I guess people are I don't know what the hoopla is. Kind of when I first saw it, I thought maybe it's a mistake, but then I thought maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe they're just re-emphasizing a point. So anyway, it's a really good book. It's a really good read. You guys definitely want to put this on your pull list and check this out. These books that I'm showing you guys, definitely put like this book. They Choose Violence #1, Blood Letter. Put these books on your pull list. Definitely put them on your pull list, and pre-order them from your comic book shops, because that's the way that these series are gonna continue to flourish. And also, you guys definitely need to check that out. Check out Blood Letter. Check out They Choose Violence. Check out Exquisite Corpses. Yeah, so all of these books that I picked up, man, they fire. It's like I said, I did some really like just lose yourself in the world type reading. Once you start reading a book, and usually it happens with novels. Sometimes it happens with comics, but most of the time with novels or longer books, you just lose yourself. You immerse yourself in that world and listen to the story that unfolds, and just let it entertain you. Let it stimulate your imagination. And with comics, you got that visual to kind of help all that process go along. So gives you a face to a name sometimes. But yeah, so this is what I picked up this week. I'm super excited about these books. Haven't had a week like this where like almost every book that I picked up was a 3.5 to a 4 on a grading scale of a 1 to 5. These books were absolutely dope. And the awesome thing is, for me anyway, it gives you the reread value. Like a lot of people, they'll read a book once and put it down and you'll keep it moving. Some people read comic books once or twice. I usually read stuff like for the second time, it's like 6-7 months later, or after some event has happened. With a couple of these books, like They Choose Violence, The Blood Letter, and Exquisite Corpses, those are books that I read them one day, then I picked them up again and reread it the next day, just simply because I enjoyed them that much. So hopefully you guys will pick up some of the books that I picked up, and you guys will enjoy them just like I did. If you do pick up any of these books, talk to me about it. Hit me up in the comments. Sometime this week, sometime in the near future, I'm going to start doing lives where people can come on and people can interact with me, and we can talk live about some of the books that I'm picking up, and you guys can tell me live what you're reading. If this is something that would interest you, you would like to, see me go live and we'll talk about some books, y'all hit me up in the comments and let me know. If that's something you don't care about, you just like, checking out the little video or whatever, please like, comment, and subscribe, and keep kicking it with me. I'm continuing to evolve, like I always like to tell people. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. Just the hype of this. You see how my mood changed? Did y'all notice that? I mean, I'm saying it now, and it wasn't pre-planned, no crap like that. But just me talking about comic books lightened my mood. I was down. I've been sitting here playing Madden. That's my coping mechanism, is to play Madden. Actually, check me out on there, the King James 321. But I'm actually 2 to 3 games. I'm not sure how many, but 2 to 3 games away from being ranked in the top 100. If I get 2 to 3 more wins, at least 2 more wins, I'm in a position to get propelled to be one of the top 100 Madden players in the country by the ranking system. So that's my coping mechanism. But going back to what I was saying, just talking about comic books just makes me feel better. It lightens my mood, gives me a good feeling. I love the books that I read, and like reading should often do for you. It should entertain you and take you away from all the madness of the world that you got to deal with. So if you feel like I do, and you celebrate comics, let me know about it, talk about it, and we can talk about it later. Let me know if you guys want to see me go live and y'all want to interact with me on a live basis where you guys can say stuff to me, and we can do it through the chat, or I can add you to the live stream, and we can just talk about stuff like this. Really loving this. Anyway, hope you guys have a great upcoming week. By the time I edit this and put it out, probably be Monday. So continue to evolve as always. Keep checking out your man Jay. This Evolutionary Comics, and we out. Peace.